Choo choo. Thomas and the storyteller. Choo choo. It was an important day on the island of Soho. A new library was going to be opened. Everyone was excited. There was going to be a ceremony in the brass band. Lots of books in the ceremony, and all the children, all the grown-ups loved to read books and listen to stories. A famous storyteller was going to tell the children a special story. All the engines wanted to collect the famous storyteller, but Sir Topham chose Thomas. Choo choo, Thomas was excited. He must show the famous storyteller the special sights of Sodor, he said. Then he could make up a special story for the children. Make sure she arrives at the grand opening on time. Choo choo, yes sir, to the Thomas excitedly. I know all the best sights.
Thomas puffed over to Brendan Dobbs.
Thomas puffed over to Brendan Dobbs. Good job. Thomas arrived at the docks.
Up and down.
He looks up and down, left and right, and looking for someone famous. While he could see a lady in a notepad and a big box of cookies. Are you the famous storyteller? Thomas asked. I like to think so, said the lady. You must be Thomas the Tank Engine. Will you please hold me the sights of Sodor, Choo? Of course, said Thomas happily. Hello, famous storyteller. Welcome to Sodor. So the famous storyteller hopped onto Thomas's footplate, and Thomas puffed away.
Pirates Cove is not far from
Pirates Cove is not far from here. Okay, the first whistle, Thomas. Pirates Cove. Fun fact, the pirates used to bury their treasure. You make up a good pirate treasure, Thomas, I believe.
on his way there.
Thomas saw James. James was in trouble. My coupling rod has snapped, and I'm a guaranteeing connection. My passengers had to arrive at Monopoly Station on time. I'm sorry, Thomas. President's famous name. I can now take you to Pirate's Cove. I had to help my friend. So Thomas buffled up to James in his passenger train, and he puffed away. Thank you, Thomas, cried James. And Thomas arrived at Mayfleet just in time. The ruined castle is just over the hill, said Thomas to the famous storyteller. Now I'll take you there. Thomas passed as fast as he could. The ruined castle has balconies and a great big door. The old kings and queens of Sodor used to live there. You can make up a jolly good story about kings and queens, puffed Thomas happily. Thomas and Emily. She was looking inside. She was taking a flower to the bakery, but her whistle has been broken. It wasn't safe to work without it. I'm sorry, puffed Thomas to the storyteller. I cannot take you to the ruined castle. I helped my friend. So Thomas buffled up to Emily and took her to the bakery. Thank you, Thomas, said Emily. Thomas arrived at the bakery just in time. Emily was pleased. Thomas puffed away. Misty Valley is not far from here, said Thomas. Now I'll take you there. He had heard Misty Valley was full of magic. You could make a jolly good story about magic, puffed Thomas. But on his way, Thomas saw Percy. Percy was in trouble. A river had flooded its banks. Percy was up to his buffers in water, and the firebox had gone out. I'm sorry, whistled Thomas, the famous storyteller. I cannot take you to Misty Valley. I had to help my friend. Slowly, Thomas puffed into the water.
Water came right up to his
foot plate. The famous storyteller had to stand on a box of cookies to keep her feet dry. Thomas bravely buffeted up to Percy, and he pushed his friend down. Thank you, Thomas, cried Percy. But now it was time to go to the grand opening, and Thomas was late. Soon as the ashes reached Thomas, I don't have time to show you any sights at all.
Thomas arrived at the new library
station, so Thomas was waiting. We didn't visit any sites, puffed Thomas sadly. I had to take James's passengers to Mayfair Station, Emily's flower to the bakery, and pull Percy out of the water. It was a wonderful idea for a story, cried the famous storyteller. I shall write all about your day, Thomas, and how you help your friends. She was very excited, and Thomas was delighted. Yay, the famous storyteller cut the red ribbon from the new library. He declared it open. Then the children and the engines all listened. The famous storyteller told them the story about a wonderful adventures with Thomas and his friends on a magical island of Sodor.